Screams of pain for a half a minute. A migrant teen tased by a Bexar County Sheriff's deputy inside of a shelter. Thank you for joining us. I'm Marvin Hurst. Tonight's top story is gaining national attention, prompting an investigation. The question, did a deputy go too far? Eyewitness News reporter Henry Ramos with the dramatic video and reaction tonight.
Turn around now.
This is the moment a migrant teen was tased inside a San Antonio shelter. A Bexar County Sheriff's deputy is holding down his taser and keeps it going for more than 30 seconds. This body camera video was obtained by Reveal, a nonprofit news outlet. The organization shared the 13-minute clip with KENS 5. You can hear the teen shouting in pain.
Disgusting.
Father Phil Lay is not affiliated with the shelter where this occurred, but he is the director of Posada Guadalupe, another local shelter that helps migrants. Lay saw part of the video.
I think that was most uncharitable and most unhelpful.
BCSO say deputies were called to the Southwest Key programs in May of last year. A caller reported a juvenile was angry and uncooperative. Investigators say the teen damaged several bedposts and storage containers.
What's going on?
About a minute into the video, the deputy started talking to the teen. However, the 16-year-old doesn't speak English. A staff member in Spanish tries to calm him down, but the teen says he isn't going anywhere.
Hey, step out of the way. Stand up.
5 minutes after the deputy first talked to the boy, he starts tasing him. He was eventually put in the patrol car and detained. KENS 5 reached out to the facility. They say in part, quote, "Our staff uses de-escalation strategies in difficult situations, and we request law enforcement help only in cases where the minor presents a danger to themselves or others. It should be noted that it is rare and not common for us to involve law enforcement," end quote.
Henry joins us live from the sheriff's office. Henry, that video is very tough to watch. Any word from the sheriff tonight on any action in this case?
Marvin, we're told once Sheriff Javier Salazar found out what happened, he called for an internal affairs investigation. It will determine if the deputy did anything wrong. As for that deputy, we're told he's on administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation. And I want to add something else. When we requested the video from BCSO, we were told they were unable to release it because it has a juvenile and that this incident is still under investigation. We're live outside the sheriff's office tonight. Henry Ramos, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.